It's Micah, the ADHD Stitcher, and I am recording on September the 28th, 2021. And this is FlossTube number 6. So, I'm happy to be back with you. I tried the past couple of nights to record and it just hasn't happened. We've had things, life, all that fun. So wasn't able to get it done the last couple of nights, but I wanted to try to get it in tonight so that y'all didn't have to go too long between floss tubes, because my goal is to do it every week really, but it just wasn't able to get it done in time. My Jack Skellington mug, isn't he cute? And look, he even has this cute little spoon. I love him. Look at his little, isn't that cute? I love it. I'm going with the tea tonight instead of the Dr. Pepper. The trusty Dr. Pepper. So tonight we'll start with a little bit of life update. It's been interesting. My son, if this is your first video with me, a few weeks ago my daughter had COVID, my 12-year-old daughter, and so obviously she was quarantined. We were all quarantined, but my son, because he was a household contact, had to be quarantined from his school for 20 days. So he had just been back at school for about a week when he was a direct contact of a student who tested positive in his class. So he was out for another 10 days. So he got to go back today because the clinic here in town does have the rapid tests. So we were able to get him tested and back in school, thankfully, because he's already missed so much. Which, I mean, of course, we've got work that we have been doing at home, but, you know, it's never the same. So we had all that fun again. And I won't share everything, but I will share things that my daughter has given me full permission to share, and I won't share things that she has not given me permission to share, so don't worry about that. She in fact has asked if she can come on sometime when I'm going to talk about ADHD, to talk about her ADHD. But getting her diagnosis was a struggle because ADHD often has comorbidities, which means other things that occur with it, and some of those comorbidities can have similar symptoms at different times. For example, there's some ADHD for you. My mind just completely blanked out. One of those things being anxiety, because when someone has anxiety, they can have attention issues and focus issues, and so sometimes doctors will think that it's just anxiety. For example, with myself, we knew I had depression first, so we treated my depression. Then anxiety came along, so we treated the anxiety, and then we finally, I'll tell the whole story in another video, but we finally got to the ADHD diagnosis. And so with those comorbidities, it can make it hard to diagnose sometimes for some people who aren't familiar enough with ADHD, and especially how it presents in girls. And when in reality, if you could treat the ADHD, a lot of the other is going to improve drastically, because those ADHD symptoms are bringing about a lot of the anxiety and depression. So it's been a struggle to get her diagnosed. Now we are struggling through finding the proper medication and treatment. which I don't handle well. So it's been a time lately. Anyway, so I've not been able to get to this just because of things that have happened, but I'm here now. Don't look like I wanted to look. I wanted to have my hair fixed and my makeup a little better, but you know, at this point you get what you get. And as my children learned in school, you get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. Anyway, happy news. Next week is the kids' fall break, and we're going to be going to Florida with my mom and stepdad. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's one of the great things about Florida is, well, specifically the beach, is that we can space out away from other people, and, you know, we'll be outside a lot, and so we can still be safe. And I'm really looking forward to that. I love the beach. I could just sit on a beach and read and listen to the waves all day long. And I do when we go. Very often I do that. So I don't know when I'll record next week's video. Because if it was a week from now, we'll be there. Which I may do a FlossTube while we're there. We'll see what happens. But either way, I'll definitely at least video some things and have photos to show next week or next whenever I make another video. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that, and that's going to be a fun time. We're getting into the swing of fall. Oh yeah, and that was another thing that stunk about my son having to quarantine again. With his original quarantine, he missed the whole first half of his soccer season. And then with this quarantine, he's had to miss another couple of games. Thankfully, after the one game this week that he missed, there aren't any more games until after fall break. And that's when the tournament starts. So this poor kid played in less games than he missed. He missed way more than he got to play in. And he loves soccer, so I know he's not been happy about that. So one thing that's coming up, by the time I post this, it will be that day. But so I'll be able to tell you all about it later. I was going to tell you about it ahead of time, but life. Stitch People Day. As you all know, I do Stitch People. In fact, let me go grab the book. Hold please. I'm back. So, Stitch People. I talked about Stitch People a lot in my first video. And I know I've talked about it since then because I've been working on a commission portrait. But this is the Stitch People book. And it's a big book with patterns for all different kinds of ways that you can put people together into a portrait. Let me flip back here to the examples. So, hey, look. Of course I opened this page. There's one of the examples that I did. But so you can put together custom portraits for people with lots of different ways that you can do it. But they have, which they also have other books. These are some of the other books I have. I don't have all their books, but I have a lot of them. I also have a lot on digital. They don't have physical, but they have a book of backgrounds, a weddings book that's all wedding stuff. Elizabeth Ann can stitch. Liz, you need to get one of these and look at it, because I know you're planning and you're gonna want to make yourself one of these. I've been meaning to, actually, the other night I was like, I watched your video and I was like, I need to message her this book because she would love this. For like occupations and hobbies, like they have teacher stuff in here, so I make the kids teacher gifts every year. Farm animals, they have lots of different ones. Anyway, focus, back on the subject. Sorry if this is loud when I set this down. But they have Stitch People Day. The whole point of that. They have Stitch People Day. Over the past couple of years they've done it. And tomorrow is Stitch People Day. And they will have lots of fun things going on, giveaways, and probably I imagine they'll be on social media live and stuff like that. Oh, and you can see right up there. I'm not gonna grab it. It's nothing special. It's on my Instagram if you want to see it. Again, my Instagram is the Lovely Stitchery, which is my my cross stitch shop that I do commission pieces and stuff. That's what I've named my shop. Which I think I'm gonna change my Instagram over to the ADHD Stitcher, or at least make it where you can see more easily that that's who I am, because it's probably confusing. But as of this moment, it's still at the Lovely Stitchery, but it might change. Sorry, let's confuse everyone. But you can see that picture on there. They had people stitch themselves, and they had a little freebie pattern that you could use to customize and make it yourself, and hashtag it I am Stitch People for giveaways and things like that they'll be doing tomorrow. I'm pretty sure they're going to have some sales on some things, and they're announcing 5 new products. I'm really excited to see what those are, because I haven't heard any hints yet. Either I'm out of the loop or they haven't given any. It could be either. But so I'm excited about that tomorrow. I'm definitely going to try to participate as much as I can. I do have a couple things going on, but that's going to be fun. And you can check it out after the fact, even when you're seeing this. If it's after the fact, I'm sure there'll be lots of cool stuff to see, and check out their products and their new products, because those are lots of fun. And Lizzie and Spencer are super fun, super cool, happening people. They're really fun. I really enjoy them. Oh yeah, and while we're here, I also have Sally mug. My hubby got me that one. I think he got me both of those. He got me that one at the same time, I think. But so since we're talking Stitch People, pardon my reach. I have an FFO this week, and that is my Stitch People portrait, my commission. It's for a couple of friends of ours, actually, from years ago. I'm really excited about it. I think it turned out super cute, and I'd sent her a picture, and she was very excited. So I'm excited to get this in the mail and off to her before we head out of town. And I'll show you how I finished the back. On this one, I've just gone for, I always do, with Stitch People, I always do interfacing. And I like to use black. This was actually a tip that Lizzie's mom gave in the Stitch People group one time. If you have the Stitch People book, there you can join the Stitch People community on Facebook, but it's only for people who actually have the book, so that we're all kind of on the same playing field, and it's not people saying, hey, what colors are recommended for hair, which that's in the book. So it's like, well, we're not going to give you all the stuff from the book. But anyway, I digress. But her mom actually recommended using black, and I really like using black behind it, because you can't, if I carry a thread, you can't tell unless it's like a lot. The black makes it where you can't really see it, and it also it just kind of makes it pop. I like using the black interfacing. But so I'm excited to get this sent off to our friends before we go out of town. So yay, FFO. Oh, and I guess technically, since I showed y'all this last time, this is an FFO. Not the jar. They're not gonna go like this. These are for my Nightmare Before Christmas tree. If you saw in the last video, I had started working on them. These were red and white candies. They're little Christmas tree picks that my mom had used previously, and then she wasn't using them anymore, so she gave them to me because she knew, oh goodness, I'm getting covered in glitter again, because she knew that, you know, I'm always looking for stuff to convert for my tree. So I used ultrafine glitter, just use regular Elmer's school glue, painted on there, ultrafine glitter. And you have Nightmare Before Christmas candies. Oh yeah, and that reminds me of this, which is something I meant to show you before this. This is a previous finish in the crochet, of the crochet variety. This is my little Halloween Christmas tree. It doesn't live in here because it usually lives in the living room in a different spot, but I brought it in here to show you. This has lots of little ornaments that I crocheted many years ago. I think all of the patterns came from the Red Heart website, Red Heart Yarn. No, maybe it was Lion Brand. That's it. I don't think it was Red Heart. I think it was Lion Brand. I'm not for sure. One of those websites. A lot of those websites have a lot of cute free patterns on them, or at least they used to. I haven't looked in a minute. But so these were some that I made from that. This cute little bat. No, of course a pumpkin. And an owl. A little angry looking owl. I love the little mummy. I think he's super, super cute. And a spider, or spider, as I like to say. Megamind. It's from the movie Megamind. Little tombstone, a ghost, and here, a witch's hat. It's not laying quite right at the moment, but a little witch's hat and a little skull. So I really like that. Oh goodness, sorry, the batteries for my lights keep trying to fall off. Some of them, they're starting to show. They're only, I mean, it only comes out at Halloween, but they are starting to show some wear and get a little rough looking around the edges. So they might get replaced, because I do really want to do the Satsuma Street Halloween ornaments. I think they're so cool. So I might start working on some of those to replace those, because I've had them for several years. So yeah, just part of my Halloween decorations. I don't have my Nightmare Before Christmas tree together yet, but I do have some of my decorations together. I have my mantle and my built-in bookcase and then the little area next to it. So I will, at the end of the video, I will insert a video of everything, me talking through everything. But here, and right after I say this, I will insert, or here, how about this? While I'm saying this, I'll insert some pictures that I took of the area, so you can just get the general feel of what the overall look is. But then, if you would like a more detailed look at what all I have, and even about how I made some of it, because several of the things I made, then just stick around after the video, and I'll put that video at the end, so that those who don't want to watch all of that don't have to, but you still get to see it. Oh, meme of the week. Shoot, it's on my phone. Pause. Okay. Obviously, of course, I'm going to put it here for you, but I forgot what it was, so I had to go look at it. At least I remembered this time. I forgot to write it on my paper, but I remembered it. So, here's our meme of the week. One leaf falls, and it's immediately Han Solo season. It really, I mean, I'm looking at it on my computer right now. It really is, though. I mean, look at it. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. It's either Han Solo or Lumberjacks. And hey, I'm right there with you with my red buffalo plaid. I love it. We want to get all manly when fall begins. We want to dress either, or I guess maybe fictional character-y, because we either want to be Han Solo or the brawny paper towel man. Oh, that's good stuff. Okay, so moving on. If I can make myself stop giggling. Here we go. Center. Zip. Oh, and another thing. Last week, for 200 subscribers, we had this fob that we are giving away today, and I'll give it away at the end of the video. I did the random comment picker earlier, and whoever gets this, I'm sorry, but your clasp is going to be giant, because it was either tiny or giant. That's all I could get my hands on. So it is what it is. But the cool thing about this size, it came in a 2-pack, and I'm glad, because when I make mine, my snips I like to use, it's big enough to fit around the snips. I'm excited, because I mean that's pretty chunky. Well, now if I can get it off. Okay, there we go. But so I'll be announcing the winner at the end of the video. Sorry if that was loud. What do we do? Okay, we did finish this. Okay, so works in progress. Oh, I'll show you, first it's a non-stitchy work in progress. The snake for the Nightmare Before Christmas tree. I am close. I've got to crochet the head still, but I've got the body part done. Now this isn't perfect, it's just kind of stuck together at the moment until I figure out exactly how it's going to lay before I really... So I showed you, this thing's too big. It's not going to... I can't fit it in one thing because it's going to wind all around the tree. But so, remember I made this with socks. I explained it in the last video. Yeah. I used some pieces of a cardboard box to make little blocks. Here's where my attention to detail gets me hung up. I mean, to scale, these would be bigger. But I can't fit any bigger in the sock because look at it's already so stretched you can see the light through it, which also bothers me. And typically I would go back and literally like paint the cardboard stripe to match and line it up exactly, but we're not doing that. We're learning to let go. Let go. As I've told my daughter before, embrace your inner Elsa and let it go. So we're letting it go. And no, I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, so here's all of him thus far. That should be my frame for my opening, my whatever it's called. That's the picture, you know, whatever. That should be it. No, not really. I'm not going to make that it, but that would be funny. So I've just got to crochet his head and get that on. I might work on that a little bit in the car when we drive, because we will drive down, and it's a long drive for us, like an 8-hour-ish drive. So I will pause. Okay, I had unplugged the light and it ran out of juice, so I had to plug it back in. Anyway, I don't remember what I was about to say. On to stitching. So I have worked on the Stitchonomy storybook Halloween stitch along. I am not current. I am 3-ish. 1, 2, 3. I think I'm 3 days behind, including today's. But here it is thus far. So I don't remember exactly where we were before, but we've got Beetlejuice and Raven and some vampire lips and teeth, and I think that's the house on Haunted Hill and the mask. And then here will be Cousin It from Addams Family. Here is The Woman in Black. And here will be It, or a clown that looks a lot like It. My husband will be so very happy to see that. Oh, here's a fun little story for you. My husband and his sisters grew up watching a lot of horror movies. Their mom was very into horror movies, still is. I guess. Very into horror movies. And when we had our daughter, I'd be like, oh, we need to get her this Disney movie. And, you know, we joined the Disney movie club for a while to get up a bunch of the ones that I knew she would want one day. And I was like, we need to get this one. And he's like, what is that? I've never heard of that. He had never seen, ever seen Sleeping Beauty. Who hasn't seen Sleeping Beauty? Aurora is my favorite princess. I was greatly disappointed. But you know why he didn't know any of those movies? Because he was watching movies like It. And the Chucky movies. So all his sisters are, one sister in particular is very scared of clowns. He does not like them. And one sister is really doesn't like them. So that's fun. My light's still acting up. Sorry, I'm about to try to adjust something. Okay. I don't know why it's acting weird because it's plugged in now. Oh, maybe it wasn't. Okay. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, he'll be really excited about that. I have another theory about some scary movies, but I'll wait and tell you that later. Otherwise, this is gonna just take too long. So the next thing that I have been working on this week. Oh yeah, and I forgot to show you. In my lovely bag from, I totally just forgot her name. Stitch in Peace. Bev at Stitch in Peace. This bag. Cute little heart. And then, again, these are two different sizes. This one, oh, I just realized, maybe, I hope you couldn't say, well, that one's a free one. Well, this one's free too, so it doesn't really matter. And then you can see right there, it's squished at the moment, but the orc containers that come with them. So this one is the Nightmare Before Christmas Sal. Sal means stitch along. If you're new to FlossTube. And whips. So what we're doing now is works in progress. This one is from Story Stitches. And what I have done at this point, I've now drawn out the entire frame. Because I kept having trouble in different small spots where I would get off a couple of things and I couldn't, then I would have to go back and undo whatever I'd done. So I said, you know what, let's get the bottom part right first. So, Crystal, you were the smart one, starting at the bottom. So I got the frame fixed, all mapped out, and then I was able to make sure that this matched up. And then last time I talked about maybe doing a blanket stitch, because this is so close to the edges, I was just going to finish off the edges, because I'm not planning to frame it. I'll probably put it on like a poster hanger or on a rod or something. And it's funny because I had a comment, sorry, I'm trying to find it. From, where did it go? Where'd it go? I was gonna give the person credit, but now I can't find who it was. But somebody had commented that I should look at Jean Farish's video. I think it may have been her last FlossTube, or actually, but she did a tutorial on the nun stitch, and it just so happened that I, the day before, had found that and had watched it. And so what I have been doing is using that variegated floss that I'd shown you before, and I am doing the nun stitch. And you can see, like, I had to start doing this. I could not work on stitching the actual border anymore. I had to get this in because I'm getting dangerously close. So I'm getting this nun stitch in before I do anything else. And after I do that, I can pull all these lengthwise and have, you know, like a little fringe, which I can trim up if I want to, or leave it. We'll see. But I'm going to nun stitch all the way around and then I'll go back to working on the border, which that definitely, and especially since I've got this all marked off now, I definitely will probably work on this in the car, because that'll be easy. I won't have to look at a pattern. All I'll have to do is fill in black. So, because they start releasing the squares on the 1st of October. So I gotta get it in gear. And if you're wondering, this is all drawn on with a friction pen. Ow, that was something sharp. Where's my pen? Well, I can't find my pen right now. But I have just regular friction pens. They're clickers. And they are... I'm wearing this like a bib. They're erasable pens, but they're also like heat soluble. So you can hit it with... I keep saying heat soluble. I don't think that's a thing. Heat disappearing. Heat erasable. So you can either iron, when you iron it, if you iron it, or you can just, like, for example, I made some mistakes like up in this part and was redoing it. I just took it back to the bedroom and hit it very particularly with the blow dryer, and it disappears. So that'll all go away if anything is outside the line of the stitch once it's done. So that's where I am on that. Here I was thinking this video was going to be like super short, and then I'm sitting here talking and talking and talking. And I need to stop because I need to get in bed tonight because I have to get up early. And then the last whip this week. Oh look, there's a kitty behind me. There's Cleo taking a nap right behind me. Hopefully I can set this back up. Ta-da. This last one, which I keep this one in, I can't show you the front side because you'll see pattern, but I keep this in a scrapbook box just because it's a bigger piece and I don't want to fold it up too tiny. But this, sorry, that's making a lot of racket. This is Halloween at Hollyberry Farm from Stacy. Ooh, that's rough. From Stacy Nash Primitives. Just take it out. I should have. I've learned this already. That doesn't work. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Which the picture is shiny, so you're still gonna get some reflection. But there you go. And I had not gotten a lot of work on it for a while, but now I did. Oh, and I forgot to say what the others were on. This is on a 14 count DMC Charles Craft opalescent, white opalescent. I don't know if you could even see the shimmers in the camera, but they're there. And this one is a 14 count DMC Charles Craft Carolina linen. It's Ada, but the color is Carolina linen because it kind of looks linen-ish. But this piece, Halloween at Hollyberry Farm, at first I didn't have much done on it, but then I got more done. I have worked on, let's see, since you saw last, I have brought the border down a lot. Wow, you're getting the light. Let me do this. I can still see you. So I brought the border down because I got really paranoid that I was going to be off, because I did get off in a couple places that I could fudge and it was fine. But if I'm off in places I can't fudge, then it's trouble. And I don't want to do all the stuff on the inside and it be all wrong. So, and I got paranoid that it was going to be too small, because look how close it is. But all I have left down here is one flower, and then it turns. And I knew that this was supposed to be the right size based on, I did the math. The math bendy stitchy taught me. Thank you, Michelle, because me and math are not best friends. It's just, my brain is built for English and literature. I did great in those. Like, in college, well, in high school getting ready for college. Here in our area, nobody takes the SAT. We all take the ACT. And I needed a certain score to get a full scholarship for college. So my dad had me take it 5 times until I got the score that would get me the full scholarship. But every time I would get, and I needed what did I need? 28? Yeah. I think that's right. I needed a 28. Eventually I got there. But I had to, I would get 32s and 34s in the English and the reading sections. And then, way, way lower in science, reasoning, and math. And they would take turns on which one was the lower one. So that was when I had a harder time getting up there. I could get it, it just took me a long time. Okay, and here's another random thing. Teachers, those of you who recognize that students learn in different ways and take the time to help those students, thank you very, very much. I'm sorry, I just feel like this light is not bright. It is. Okay. I could generally figure stuff out eventually, usually a different way than we were maybe supposed to. But I had a teacher, I took, what was it? Calculus 2? Or calculus, wait. I took pre-cal and trig, and then calculus. I guess it was just calculus. I can't remember. It was a calculus class. It was a higher level math class in high school, my senior year. And we were on a block schedule, so we had longer periods. And our teacher would teach the class. He would give the homework. And then he would come and literally sit down with me and reteach me. Because my brain needed it from a different direction. And he saw that and he helped me. And so I still got my A in that class. Because he did that. And because he was able to recognize that and do that. And, I still to this day, when I need to figure out a math problem, usually, well, especially now with Common Core math, my husband has to help with homework. I can't. My brain just goes, because I barely figured it out the first time. But, I would get the answer, but it might take me longer, because it's like, say, we're at point A and we need to get to point B. Oh, most people say, point A to point B, let's go here. My brain would be like, let's go over here, and then over here, and then over here, and over here, and over here, and in the back door. So, it would take me longer. Anyway, how did we get there? I don't remember. What was I talking about? Math. Michelle from Bendy Stitchy. In one of her videos gave explained the math on how you figure out the stitches per inch and what that translates to in fabric. That's how we got there. ADHD is on full display tonight. Oh, you're welcome. So anyway, but I still was nervous that maybe the fabric shrunk a lot when it was dyed or something and it wasn't going to fit. So I started working on the border to make sure that it was going to fit, because the way this border is, I could fudge it at the bottom if I need to, just make it, because none of it's fully straight. Everything is kind of on its own tilt. So I could fudge it slightly over a few and make it look fine. But I wanted to make sure that it was going to fit. That was the whole point. Oh my goodness. So this fabric is, and this is my first real linen. I had done even weave for Witch's Dance, a Murano car, and I really liked that. That was super easy. This is not super easy, but I still like it. I think I'm going to prefer even weave when I can, but I do like this a lot. And this look is it's the perfect look for this piece. Again, I'm wearing my piece like a bib. This is me today. Welcome. Here I am. Lost my mind. This fabric is by E Design. It's a 36 count. It's called John Proctor 1692. And I don't know where you can find it because I just found it on a random Etsy shop when I was looking for fabric. And they don't have it. This was the only piece they had. And I haven't ever seen this anywhere else. But maybe you can find it if you look for it. The shop I got it from, it was on sale. Anyway, so I had worked on the border. I know I had some of this, but I got these letters in. I got more of this done. I got some of those done. So I got a little bit more. I want to get this border to the place where I'm comfortable and won't be getting paranoid about it not fitting. And then I want to do something else other than this border, like the big willow tree or something fun, because I like this border a lot. It's just I would like to change it up. And I am stitching with mostly the called fours, but I did make a couple of subs. Here's my cute floss ring I got from Bobby at Pumpkin Creek Stitchery. No, Pumpkin Creek Primitives. That's the right name. I got that from Bobby at Pumpkin Creek Primitives. I really like this. But it calls for all gentle art flosses. And so, for example, I subbed Fragrant Cloves for the pumpkin pie because you can't find pumpkin pie anywhere right now. And I subbed Piney Woods for Picnic Basket because I couldn't find that. And I also subbed Shaker White for one of the other white. For, which white was it? Parchment. So, yep, there you go. That's where I am on that. I do want to work on that. I'll probably work on that some this week before we leave. That won't be a good one to do in the car because I can sometimes get motion sick. I'll wear those when we take long trips. I always wear the C-bands. And that enables me to actually be able to do a little bit of stitching. But this, it's already hard to see. I have to use my light. And I did buy one of these magnifiers that can, just like goes around your neck, which isn't always the most comfortable for me because I get tension headaches and that will pull on the back and sometimes trigger one. But it does for now. At some point I will get a nice one. But that's what I got for the moment. But anyway, so that won't work well in the car. That will be too hard to see. I may take it with me. Oh my goodness, I'm showing you the pattern. I may take it with me and to work on in the room while we're there, or in the condo. We're not in the condo very much when we're at the beach. We're at the beach all day long, and then we go eat, and then we go to bed. Oh, now I'm shaking the table. Anyway, that's all for whips. The point was, then I do have a little bit of haul. I got, I had a little bit of ordering money. My husband is a very, very good man. And he, I love flowers. And, some people don't like to, I love flowers outside and I love cut flowers. Some people don't like to get flowers because they're like, oh, they're just going to die. But I love them for while they're alive. So he pretty regularly, he has kind of a schedule he works on, and he gets me flowers every so often. And he said, hey, I was about to drive over to the florist and get you some flowers. And I thought, well, actually, right now she might want some stitchy stuff. I was like, oh, yeah, thanks. So I ordered a few things. One of those was... Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm trying not to have to edit too much. Pumpkin spice and everything nice from the... There we go. From the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Because I like pumpkin spice. In fact, I have chai tea with... latte with pumpkin spice in my cup. So I got that one. And that, I got today... I got all the floss I'll need for these projects to work on. Like this bag is full of flosses. I'm sorry if this crinkling is loud. but it's, I mean, all the flosses. And I got a couple of diamants, and I got some more bobbins, and I got another floss organizer because with Stitch People, and I've said this before, with Stitch People, it's easier if it's on a bobbin where I can, and in numerical order, so I can look at my color card, the DMC color card, which I don't know where I put it, but I showed it last time. And I have the one that has the actual floss in it, samples of the floss. I can pick out what I need, and then I can go get it out of here. And on those, you use such a small amount, there's no point in doing floss drops and all that for that. So it's just the easiest way for this. So, and mine I have 3 already that are completely full already before all of this. So I was like, yeah, we have to have a new one for sure. At least. We'll see what. These I got at the Dollar Tree. No, these are not the initials for our last name. But my thought was a couple of little fall smalls would be super cute on those. So I was like, it doesn't matter what the letter is because I'll just cover it up. So I got a couple of those. I also got, I forgot to show you the rest of the patterns I got. Also from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, I got Christmas cookies. What does it say? Milk cookies and Christmas goodies. Because I love to bake at Christmas time, and I make sugar cookies. I like to do the whole like decorated sugar cookie thing. So I got that. And then I also got from Stitching with the Housewives and To All a Good Night. I really like that one. I thought that one was super cute, so I grabbed that one. I don't know what is going on with my light. It is just like slowly fading tonight. It does not like me. Hold on, pause please. Okay, so yeah, I'm a lot brighter now, huh? I took a little break and charged everything, so now it's a little happier. But I'm not sure what I was rambling about. There's no telling. But we're gonna move on to plans so that we can wrap this puppy up. This week I am planning to start my Mill Hill button and beads kit called Midnight Glow. I've never done any beading. I've never done a Mill Hill kit, so I'm really excited to do this. And would like to get that done before Halloween. That way I can put it out. Also, in plans, I won't be starting it this week, but we've talked before about Twin Peak Primitives Haunted House Sampler. I, this week, ordered potential fabric and flosses for it. It's charted in DMC, and I am going to use a lot of DMCs, but these areas of... not these areas, but like these big areas of the house, I thought would look nice with some variegation, and that black too. And I think also these pieces. So I got a couple of, I ordered several different ones because I wasn't able to get to Memphis this week, which is to get to my the localist LNS is about an hour and a half-ish away, because I have to go further in town in Memphis. The outskirts of Memphis I can get to in a little over an hour. But anyway, so I ordered several different flosses, fancy flosses that I thought might work well for that, and when everything comes in we'll just see. But I also do have the DMCs, so if I decide just to do the DMCs, I'll do that. But the plan is Emily C. On FlossTube, and on Instagram she's Eclectic Positions. On October 13th, she and somebody else who I just totally forgot, sorry, are doing the hashtag haunted house sampler Sal. They're going to start it on October 13th. So I'm going to start that then too. So join in. Let's all get a little haunted. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. I'm really excited to do this one too. I wasn't gonna take on another bigger, which this isn't near as big as the Hollyberry Halloween at Hollyberry Farm sampler, but I wasn't gonna take on anything else bigger Halloween wise this year. But this was just too perfect, and it's limited edition. It wasn't even gonna be in PDF, but the kit sold out so fast, and so many people wanted it that they did release the PDF. But I don't know, since it's limited edition, how long it's going to be available for. So I was like, you better get it now. So hopefully the next time, well, if I do one from the beach, I won't have it. But the next time I film from home, I will have those things to show you, and maybe I'll have picked out what I'm going to use. We'll see. So that's part of my plans, and I wanted to mention it again in case anybody else was wanting to join in on that. You could make sure you've got what you need. Then I'm planning to, which I think I mentioned this, start pumpkin spice from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, because I think that will be pretty quick stitch. It doesn't look like it'll take too long, and I want it for the fall. So I'll be starting that one too soon. And then, of course, working on my other whips. I've got to catch up on the Stitch Along, which won't take long because those squares don't take very long at all to do. But yeah, so that's my plans. I do on Friday. I get to go to. We're not too far from Reelfoot Lake. It's up in the northwestern corner of Tennessee. They call it Quake Lake because it was formed by an earthquake. It was the giant earthquake on the New Madrid fault line in 18 whatever. I don't know. I can't remember the year. But that earthquake was so big that the Mississippi flowed backwards, and like all the water just surged, kind of, not a tidal wave, but you know what I'm saying. And so it spilled over into the land on that area and created a lake there. So they're like, now you can't swim in that lake because there are like all kinds of trees and stuff in it, and a gazillion and a half cottonmouths. But it's a really great place to go eat fish. Love some catfish. But the reason we're going Friday is every year they have an arts and crafts festival, and tons and tons and tons of vendors with all kinds of different stuff. Usually not really anything stitchy related, but all kinds of other stuff. Like there's one vendor that has been there the last few years, I'm hoping will be back, that does lots of different woodcuts on their, like with their computer scroll frame or whatever, that I could probably get some finishing pieces from. And there's usually all kinds of really cool stuff. And I also just realized I left my fan running, so you've been hearing the tinkling of my wind chime the whole time. I'm sorry. I was trying to see if there's anything immediately around. Oh, well, that shelf that's on the wall right there holding my goodies, that came from the craft fair last year. So I usually get at least one cool piece, and probably usually a couple of Christmas gifts. And oh yeah, I got this there last year too. Oh my goodness, I can't even stand up. So I got this t-shirt there last year. Children stay free. So there's always lots of fun stuff at that, and me and Mom walk around and can't move by the end of the day because she has fibromyalgia, and I probably do too, but haven't ever been diagnosed. But I have lots of back and hip pain and inflammation, so we're always nice and grumpy by the end of the day. But it's a lot of fun. So I'm excited to get to do that, and then come home and madly finish packing to go to the beach. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, giveaway. Sorry. You're gonna be mad. um, Let me pull up. I have it still on here. I did, I pulled it up on the YouTube comment picker. Ooh, hope I don't knock stuff over. The winner was Melanie Smieja. I don't know if I'm saying that right because I'm trying to decide if it's Spanish or if it's like more like Norwegian, or I don't know. So I may be saying it completely wrong. But Melanie, oh my goodness, Melanie, you won the key fob. Key fob. I keep saying key fob. Scissor fob. Scissor fob. Scissor fob. Slash whatever. I mean, if you want to use it on your keys, you can, but it'll probably fall apart. But so, yes, you won this. So Melanie, just send me an email at the email address that will be in the description box below, and get me your address, and I will get that sent out to you. If you get that to me in the next couple of, well, what's today? Yeah, if you get it to me in the next couple of days, I should be able to get it mailed before we leave. Maybe. No promises, but I'll try. So, yeah, I think that is all. I hope you all have a great week. I will try to send some kind of love from the beach. And I will also be, so I'm not sure when the next FlossTube will post, but I will be posting videos here in the next couple of days. I'll be starting to post videos for ADHD Awareness Month, starting with my ADHD story, mental health story. And fair warning, that'll probably be long. But, so yeah. So we'll see you around. Hope you all have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Hey guys, so this is the look at my Halloween decorations. First, I'm going to do a quick, just a quick look with the lights off, so you can see all the lighting effects when the lights are lowered. And then after it goes through this, I will, you'll hear me talking again on the video, and I will be explaining what all the things are and how they were made. Okay, so I have either video or photos that I'm going to show you of what this all looks like when the lights are off and it's all spooky looking. But I was going to walk you through what I have in these parts of my Halloween display. I have several different bottles like this that I made. I'll show you here in a little bit how I made them. These signs that I got from Walmart this year. I use an empty bottles. I fill them just with water and food coloring. Piece that y'all have seen before. This that I got last year at TJ Maxx, I think. And I love it. It also does, let me see if I can switch it over to the sound. So it does make creepy sounds as well. And so here's a bottle that's not got anything on it, so I can pick it up easily. To make these, I just saved bottles from condiments and things like that. And my husband's old ratty white t-shirts. And before you panic, no, this is not the color that they were. I tea-dyed them and then just coated them in Mod Podge and shellacked them onto the bottles, and then tied a bit of twine around the top. And the labels I got on different places online. I just found them where people had them free to print. I think this guy I got at Dollar Tree last year, maybe. This I got at Cracker Barrel a couple of years ago, 3, 4, I don't know how many now. Now that I think about it, it may have been a while. Then some more bottles. I think I got him at Big Lots a few years ago. Some more bottles. I think these candelabras came from Target a few years ago. For a couple of these bottles that look like they have powder, it's just, sorry, I think this one has sugar mixed up with glitter because I didn't want to put $20 worth of glitter in the bottle. So I just put some sugar in there and mixed in enough glitter that it showed. I got my Raven on top of my Edgar Allan Poe collection. I thought that was appropriate. Another sign from Walmart. Here are some Nightmare Before Christmas figurines my husband got me one year. And these trees I just got at, where did I find them? Dollar Tree, I think. Yeah, I got those at the Dollar Tree just the other day. And these houses, there's Lock, Shock, and Barrel and the Pumpkin King. I'll see if I can pull this house out without, that's okay. Okay. Yep, his so just fell apart. Anyway, these houses, they were like they were paper cardboardy houses that were at Walmart a few years ago. And I painted them with a few layers of chalkboard paint. Actually, oh my goodness. Okay, forget it. If you can see the texture on it, I actually went over it with Mod Podge really thickly so that it would kind of texture it. And even, I went so detailed with the roofs and you can't even see them where I put them. But so there those are. I think my cat just knocked a piece of Jack down the vent. Ugh. So I painted those with chalkboard paint. Now I'm annoyed. Did you really just do that? Okay, it's still there. Good. Don't move. No. You can't have Jack. My Pumpkin King, not yours. Okay. This shelf, this was like a salsa jar, I think. Put a bunch of spotters in there. Again, t-shirt. There's the little Wicked that I did. These two little skulls, I actually have them sitting on top of a light bulb. I love these so much. They're terracotta. I got these at the French Market in New Orleans a couple of years ago now. Wow, it's been 2 years now since we went. Because that was pre-pandemic. They're super cute. The lady who made them, she had big ones, all kinds. I wanted to buy a gazillion of them, but I didn't. This guy talks very loudly. He has a sensor there. I'm not going to open him up or turn him on because it's really annoying. And if he sings his song, it takes a minute. He sings, I Ain't Got Nobody. Appropriate. There's my Witch's Dance. And more bottles. There's another Dollar Tree guy. I think I got those books. They're little boxes. I got those at Dollar Tree one year. This lantern, it used to have an LED that switched up inside it, but the LED played out. This cool little Halloween box I got at Dollar Tree one year. This is one of those that will do the fog. I just don't. Good kids used to have me keep it going, but I don't anymore because that's a lot of work. Some other little bottles I have. And this guy, this used to tilt, but the little arm broke. I think I got that at Cracker Barrel one year also. Okay, and then here is my little mini china cabinet I have. This tree, my mother-in-law made me last year as a Christmas gift. I really like it. She painted it. You can see it's got like layers of purple and black. And she put all the stuff on it, and I love it. It's super cute. And I like salt shakers. I have a few. Oh my goodness, this LED. I'm going to turn this off so it doesn't blind everyone. These are my fall and Halloween salt shakers. My husband got me that one and I laugh every time I see it. I got this little house at the at Dollar General the other day. I think this came from TJ Maxx last year. Y'all saw that recently. And I have several Nightmare Before Christmas snow globes. I collect snow globes seasonally-ish. I do have one other Halloween one in a different spot in the house. And then I have a bunch of Christmas ones. But these all play, I'll just play one because they all play the same thing. But, sorry. So they all play This Is Halloween. And those are just some pumpkins and doodads and lights in my cake stand. And there's another sign that I got at Walmart. So that's this area. This is definitely the most decorated area. I do have some other decorations and spots here and there. But there you go.